All right, so let's look at problem 2. Wow, so we see, fractions, we see mixed numbers, we see division, we see all sorts of things over here. And it seems way more complicated. But so this is to get you overwhelmed. The person who gave this problem, her or his goal, is to make you feel overwhelmed. And a lot of kids might just be scared of how many numbers this is and see how it's so complicated. But don't worry, because there's always a pattern you can find in here. There's always something you can observe that's going to help you make your calculations easier, especially if at first it looks overwhelming. Okay, so let's first look at each of these parentheses. Let's first look at the first one. We have 3 and 3.91 and 6.09. Those are the decimals. And we have 3 and 3/7 and 6 and 4/7. Look at these two mixed numbers. Their fractional parts add up exactly to one whole, 7/7. And their whole parts is 3 plus 9, which is not 3 plus 6, which is 9. 9 plus that one whole is 10. Now let's look at the decimals. Let's first look at the whole parts. 3 plus 6 is 9. 91 hundredths plus 9 hundredths is 100 hundredths, which is the same as one whole. So there's another 10. See how easy that was? If we just take our time to observe and just come in to look at each of the numbers, we can find something. That's way more easier than, turning all of these into improper fractions and all of that. Remember, sometimes I don't say always to turn it into improper fraction, just sometimes, because sometimes maybe you don't need to do it and that's irrelevant. Now let's look at the second parenthesis. 2 and 1/8 minus 1 and 125 thousandths. So 1/8 and 125 thousandths. Those are equivalent, right? Because 1 times 125 is 125. 8 times 125 is 1,000. And this is very important, and I emphasize on very important. Because 2 times 50 is 100, right? So is 4 times 25, and 8 times 125 is 1,000. So those are very important ones. 2 times 5 is 10. And this is a fact that you need to know, and that's going to come up again and again. So these two fractional parts, since it's subtraction, they cancel out, and we have 2 minus 1, and that's 1. All right, let's look at the second parentheses. And we have 1 minus 2/3. Well, 1 divided by 2/3 minus 1.5. Well, 1 divided by 2/3 is 3 halves. And 3 halves, 1.5 is the same as 3 halves. So that's equal to 0. And we don't even have to look at this second one because this is multiplication. And if this is 0, we know that 0 times anything is 0 itself. So that's a big fat 0 right there. Now this is so much more simplified. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 times 1 is 20. 20 plus 0 is 20. So the final answer to this problem is 20.